boring fuck, dude. He landed a head kick in round 2, and other than that, he did nothing! For 20 minutes! He did fucking nothing! That's the truth! 0! He caught him with a head kick in round 2, and other than that, he did fucking nothing! The whole fight!
They come back with the #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world, Islam Makhachev, who makes history. 17 wins in a row for Islam Makhachev. He retains his welterweight title. As GC just said, if you were watching the post show, and a tremendous job, the watch party, tremendous job by both GC and Rick. A, for the watch party, but B, for like actually doing it in those outfits for the entire time. I mean, the dedication to the bit. Primo, 5th fighter to defend a title in 2 different weight classes. Perhaps most importantly, in my opinion, 17th win in a row, breaking Anderson Silva's record, which was 16 wins in a row. He did not break any title defense records or anything like that. Dana White was kind of confused about those records throughout the week. But interestingly enough, same building that Anderson Silva beat Forrest Griffin way back when, UFC 101. Now that was just a 205-pound fight, but it was one of his greatest performances ever. Same building, same city, of course. Here's Islam Makhachev against Ian Machado Gary in a fight that I think a lot of people were dismissive of Ian Machado Gary's chances in the fight, and it was looking very early on like it was going to be another Islam Makhachev masterclass, certainly after the first 2 rounds. But a funny thing happened in the 3rd and 4th. Machado Gary got his confidence, figured out how to stand and trade with him, was defending takedowns. Islam was pretty much at about 50% throughout, and even when he did take him down, wasn't inflicting much damage. 4th round, going to be very interesting to see how that would score. Now, ultimately, 2 judges gave it 49-46, 1 48-47. I suspect those judges who gave it 49-46 for Ian had that 4th round for Islam.
I felt like tonight was set up for the upset. I felt like the upset could happen tonight with so much on the line, all the records that Islam has, and he's going to break Anderson Silva's record. There's weight classes for a reason. Ian Gary is a big, rangy, strong guy who has great takedown defense. I mean, if you look at his takedown defense tonight against Islam, it was impressive. I felt like, I think that Ian is a talented guy. If he had even an ounce of killer instinct in that 5th round, you know, he had been beating him to the body. Islam's whole, I think, right side was beat up. His face was beat up. You don't come out and hug and shake hands in the fight. That shit drives me fucking crazy when there's so much at stake. And there's also a lot of mental gamesmanship, whatever you want to call it in this game. You come out in that 5th round with a flying knee or something crazy and you try to finish the fight. I think that this is one of those fights that Ian will go back and watch and say, wish I could do that over again. And, you know, if he came out and tried to destroy and win that last round, you know, with everything that he had, I think it's a totally different fight. And then he gives Islam that explosive, you know, he exploded up and got his back. And once he took his back and put the hooks in, that was a wrap. He's going to ride that out till the round ends.
But Ian's doing a good job of keeping him close. And then separate head kick, Islam Makhachev! Oh my goodness! And Ian's still wobbly. He dropped him with a head kick. Right hand Islam. Ian looks to get underneath and grapple. Big time judo throw from Islam. And he's sitting in side control, looking to isolate a wrist. Holy cow. Dropped him with the head kick off the break. And now Ian is in a bad spot. He's flat on his back, middle of the octagon. And we know Islam can get to mounted crucifix from here. There's about 1 minute and 50 seconds left. That was a huge moment. It was just on the toes, and it wobbled Ian.
I also think it's very, very important to give Islam Makhachev his flowers. As I indicated, he breaks Anderson Silva's win streak. Dude, getting 17 consecutive fucking wins in the UFC is so mind-bogglingly difficult. And to do that in 2 weight classes through title defenses is just one of the most remarkable things you'll ever see. You can make an argument that this is the best title defense of a champ up a weight class in UFC history. I mean, there's other ones who have done it, but it's not,
Forget everything you thought you knew about dream matchups, because the MMA world just spent weeks dissecting a hypothetical clash that would have absolutely detonated UFC 303. We're talking about a collision of styles so extreme, so perfectly opposed, it sent every pundit into overdrive trying to predict the impossible. And their takes, they were wild.
Hands and striking are always improving, but when you look at Islam Makhachev and the way that he ragdolls everyone, when he gets a hold of them, and more importantly, when he gets them up against the fence, sometimes...
Michael Bisping, for example, couldn't wait to see Islam Makhachev's long-starved, suffocating wrestling in action. The Bisping breakdown highlighted Islam's incredible ability to pin opponents, maintain crushing control, and then relentlessly unleash ground and pound, seamlessly transitioning into submission attacks. A nightmare for anyone.
Legs. And that gives him a chance to catch Makhachev while standing and striking before Makhachev can get in range to catch him. Gives him a chance with the jab, gives him a chance with the straight right hand, set the table with the jab, eat with the right hand, gives him a chance again with the kicks, gives him a chance to control the outside. Gives him a chance to maybe walk Makhachev through a bad neighborhood and try to mug him. Makhachev don't get mugged, but a chance. That's all I'm looking for.
But then you have Teddy Atlas, the legendary boxing trainer, who zeroed in on what made Ian Gary so incredibly dangerous. Atlas saw Gary's incredible reach with those long legs, his lightning-fast jab, a devastating straight right. And here's the kicker, literally his formidable kicking game. This wasn't just striking, it was an arsenal.
Is right now the best fighter the UFC has, on one off top two. If you put a gun to my head, who I'm gonna put money on this fight, I have to go Islam, because again, he's proved me wrong so many times, proved himself right so many times, and proved their pedigree, their lineage over there. This is his new weight class. He's done it right. He took it off the former champ with ease. So yeah, I have to go Islam. But you have moments like UFC 250, when the deck is stocked against Justin. Look what he did. He just had a stellar performance, masterful, overcame adversity to become champ on the White House lawn. That's magic. This is another one of those fights where I'm like, this is it. Like, Ian's come to this point now to prove that he's the best in the world, and he's called his shots. So if he does it, woo, it'll be beautiful, it'll be magical. I like those stories.
Now listen to this part. Israel Adesanya himself broke down that exact striking versus grappling contrast. He dove deep into Makhachev's untouchable performances, then flipped the script to talk about Gary's unwavering confidence. The biggest question, could Ian face that uphill battle stepping onto such a massive stage against a force like Islam?
Said, guys, do not be surprised of Ian in the first 2 rounds, bro. Ian is going to use his reach. He's going to be smart. Islam is going to be super smart back, just trying to figure it out, try to wear him down, trying to close that distance. But once he closes that distance, it's going to be hell, I believe. And I feel like he's just going to be smothering him for the rest of the fight. So I think Islam Makhachev, I think it's a submission or just get his hand raised, period. But if it is a finish, I think it's a submission. So, but Islam can knock out too, so never know, bro. But I think he get his hands raised. I think right now he's just on his stuff and he's looking great, and I'm excited for this.
Max Holloway, the blessed one, meticulously dissected Gary's reach and tactical brilliance. But then he pivoted, breaking down Makhachev's relentless pressure and devastating grappling once he closes the distance. It was the ultimate chess match, a battle of inches where one mistake could mean the end. Holloway saw it all playing out.
To be an elite fighter, you have to be able to have the vision of the fight, the vision of how the fight's taking place, how the fight's playing out, and the wherewithal to be able to see the shot before you land the shot. See the setup before you land it. And Ian, I have to be honest, Ian does have good vision of a fight. He can see you. There's that highlight of the only, I think, couple of knockouts that he has in the UFC right now is him sliding back, seeing the shot, and landing the right hand, I believe. So he does have that vision, and if he is able to stay composed and not be put on his butt, put on his back, and not just be controlled, Ian does have vision. He can find it. So that's the shot that I give him. Besides that, I just being on your feet alone I don't think gives him the edge.
Let's talk about the sheer physical differences. Kamaru Usman, ever the tactician, specifically pointed out Gary's insane advantages in height, reach, and leg length. His vision as a fighter, spotting these crucial physical edges, was absolutely spot on. Gary has the frame to cause serious problems, especially for a grappler.
He defended it. Those guys on a different level. Ilya Topuria, he won the belt, Alex Volkanovski, then he knocked out Max Holloway, and then he went to lightweight. He did win the lightweight belt, but he didn't defend it. So Islam Makhachev is going into his own era with the other athletes who've been able to win it and defend it. So be patient, enjoy the fight, watch for the technique, understand the gamemanship that's going on in this fight. It won't be a rock'em sock'em bloody. It's not going to be Rory McDonald versus Robbie Lawler. It's not going to be that fight. It's going to be a very, very high technical.
And get this, Demetrius Johnson, Mighty Mouse himself, predicted Makhachev would use every single tool in his arsenal. This wouldn't just be a brawl, it would be a calculated chess match. DJ emphasized precise timing and flawless technique, saying Islam's career depended on executing a perfect game plan against Gary's unique style.
I have winning against Ian Gary versus Islam Makhachev. I'm going to go with Islam Makhachev. I think Islam Makhachev can win the fight anywhere. Now, do we think Islam Makhachev is going to win by decision or a finish? Islam said he's going to get it done. Islam said he's going to get it done within 3 rounds. And, you know, it just all depends how Islam approaches the fight and how Ian Gary approaches the fight. If Ian Gary is running a lot and Islam's having a hard time catching him, it's probably going to go to a decision. But if Islam Makhachev is able to get his hands on Ian Gary, get him to the ground, and start to pass his guard, then he'll finish him. It all depends how the reaction is going to be when the two clash. And that's will dictate if it's going to be finish or a.
This isn't just a Michael Venom Page-style highlight reel. Ian Gary's fight stage is different. Pundits constantly highlighted Gary's incredible resilience and knack for adapting precisely when things got tough. He's not just flashy, he's built tough, a fighter who finds a way to survive even when the odds are stacked.
In Gary, I think the obvious is Islam Makhachev, if he grabs you, it'll feel like the eclipse that we just had, because it'll get dark very, very quick. And that's usually because people are falling asleep, because if he grabs your neck, your head, throat, your arm, your leg, it's going to be a problem. His grappling and wrestling style is exceptional, you know, because it's so effective. Whereas on the other side, Ian Gary, less about the grappling, more about the striking. This is what we've all come to love about mixed martial arts, about the UFC specifically, is style versus style. Ian Gary's striking is very, very good. Not that good, but very, very good. And the reason I feel like I've got good insight that is because I've gone the distance with Ian Gary and felt his pros, his cons. Again, my style is very, very different. I do believe he will have the striking advantage, although Islam's striking very, very on point. But I have to say, Ian Gary is just a very smart.
Hold up, did you catch what just happened? When discussing Gary's sheer size, confidence, and technical development, it was clear he'd built an elite game. Crucially, he'd made his takedown defense virtually impenetrable. This was key for Ian, stopping the grappling before it even started, making it a striking affair.
Gary is somebody that if it's starting to go wrong, he can make those adjustments and then, you know, find a way. I think he's a bit of a cockroach, man. Like, and I mean it with respect. He just seems to be able to, just can't kill him. You just find a way. He will find a way to get in that victory. Although he's had the
Henry Cejudo pin. Aljamain Sterling, a master grappler himself, zeroed in on Gary's size, speed, and reach. But then he instantly shifted to Makhachev's grappling and takedown prowess. Sterling understood the brutal reality. If Islam got his hands on Gary, the fight would change entirely. It was a stark contrast of strengths at play.
I think people are counting out Ian Gary out.
Are they?
I'll never forget when I had your back when everybody was saying that Tyrone Williams was about to put your lights out.
No, they wouldn't.
You know what I said? You know what I said? I was like, dude, Kamaru's different. He's got the length, he's got the height, he's got the wrestling.
You said that?
What's that? Yeah.
Okay.
So now what I'm saying is you cannot write off a guy that is 6'3", can get him to his feet, uses the jab, and then kicks the lead leg very, very well. You know, will Islam take him down? Yes. Now, could Islam control him in Dagestani? I mean, that to me, that's the biggest answer, because when it comes to the feet too, as much as people do not like him, as much as like you cannot hate on the competitive spirit that this dude have. He probably doesn't finish people like people want to, but he does get his hand raised.
Here's the kicker. Alexander Volkanovski, who knows Islam better than almost anyone, pointed out the key to Makhachev's success. His incredible patience, precise, controlled striking, lightning-fast counters, and those masterful takedown techniques, especially when facing such an aggressive opponent like Gary. Volk saw the full picture.
The thing about this matchup is how well Ian Gary can control the range. I think he's going to be much bigger than Islam in the sense of height, reach advantage. In terms of size, I never thought Ian was the biggest welterweight. I still don't think he is.
Well, he can't be. He's so tall. He can't be thick.
No, but in a sense, even when you're talking just from a weight standpoint, from what he was walking around at,
right?
I forgot what he told me he walked around at, but he wasn't cutting a whole lot of weight.
No.
I want to say off the top of my head, maybe 10 pounds.
Which is why he's so healthy. And
yeah.
He has such energy.
So I go, you're cutting just this and you're going out there and doing this to these guys who are, you know, essentially bigger, heavier guys. But he's got the speed advantage. The thing about Islam, he's such a complete fighter. He could do everything. But this will be the first time he's got a test with a guy who's a long man. And can he get inside, take him down? I don't think he's going to stand up and strike with him. He can, but I just don't think that's...
Wade Pundins wasn't just talking tools. He was actively refining them. Their sessions focused intensely on takedown defense, devastating low kicks, brutal leg attacks, snap high kicks, and crippling knees. This wasn't just theory. This was the grind, preparing Gary to nullify Islam's greatest threats and unleash his own arsenal.
Islam's always been a very patient striker. He's very safe. He stays long himself. He's usually doing similar to what Ian Gary does, but we'll look for the takedown. When you get over aggressive and you come forward a little bit too aggressive, or you try and cut into range too quickly, he'll either get the takedown or he'll still run you in the shots. That's something that Islam was better than Khabib at. Khabib was very good at running you into the takedowns. Islam can run you into...
So there you have it, the hypothetical clash that had the entire MMA world buzzing. Gary's explosive striking versus Makhachev's relentless wrestling and masterful control. This wasn't just a fantasy fight. It was a deep dive into the pinnacle of skill. But what do you think? Who emerges victorious in this insane matchup and why? Tell me in the comments. If you want more breakdowns, smash that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell. I'll see you in the next one.
Has a good opportunity to do early on. I think if he doesn't stuff takedowns early, it's going to be a short fight. I legitimately could see Islam Makhachev submitting Ian Gary in the early rounds if Ian's takedown defense does not hold up. Now, with that being said, what are some things that Ian can do to combat a bit of the takedowns from Islam? And I feel like we have this conversation about striker to grappler matchup, even though that's not exactly what this is. I feel like we have that conversation a lot, but Ian, I would think, would look for Islam to, one, stay at range, two, not be so aggressive with his grappling exchange and with him trying to look for single legs, knee taps, high crotch, anything that he can get close to Ian, body lock, and then initiate grappling from there. Being able to utilize his kicks more than just his boxing, because Jack Della Maddalena in the Islam fight, more of a boxing-first fighter, and Islam was able to take advantage of that. Ian's going to have a lot more range, a lot more weapons at that range. The high kicks will be there. The knees up the middle could potentially be there for